All right, go ahead and call it regular June meeting. Switch to council order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
First up, we've got approval of our minutes from our regular meeting on Wednesday, May 13th. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. I second.
Second by Carrie. All in favor? Next up, we got our assessor here for answering any questions, give an update on our new property assessments.
We've got a information thing for you.
Take it away.
Yes, I have that. Okay, so I know everyone has a lot of questions about their drastic increases in the reassessments. So as required under the Indiana assessment standards, our office is conducting a circular reassessment that's done every 4 years. This year, the state increased our cost tables approximately 35% across the board. So all improvements went up about 35%. So that made the increases a little crazy. And then this increase in assessments is a statewide issue. It's just not Switzerland County, it's the whole state of Indiana. And the cost tables increase is based on state standards and construction cost data. We don't set the cost, like it's done through the state. And I brought Shane Thornsberry, Vision Government Solutions, to explain what they've done, because he's with our reassessment company.
Thank you. One thing we are actually required to do is we use something called a CAMA system. And I'm not going to read this to you. Actually, I have a copy of it. Everyone does there. That computer-aided mass appraisal system. The state actually controls that. They determine what cost tables are embedded in that. Normally, they do not increase them very often. It's been years. So last year, they did about a 30% increase. This year was 35 to 40, depending on the county. I work with 8 different counties in the state. And this was across the board. They did what most counties are unable to undo in a lot of ways, especially the small counties. We don't have enough sales. As you will see on there, we had 23% less sales this past year than what we've had in valid sales, that is, in the past. And what we use sales for is trending to try to get to market. So when we do the ratio study, we look at where the sales are, where the assessments are, and try to trend those or adjust those to the market. This year, unable to do so. We just did not have enough sales. So when they put in these big cost table jumps, we really couldn't bring it back down. We did some mitigation because we found that buildings such as pole barns or the T3 type barns, GCK buildings and confined feeding facilities shot through the roof. Some of them tripled. So we were able to look at those, apply obsolescence, because we knew those should be at market to start with, because we've always been at market, as you will read here, because all of our ratio studies always pass. So we were able to bring those back down with some explanation, but the problem we run into is being able to explain to the state why we're making changes when we actually don't have the sales to show that. So with this past time, we were able to make some adjustments. Just wish we could have done more, but it was sort of out of our hands. And the state had actually indicated last year when they made the big jump that they weren't going to do that again this year, but they did anyway. So that left us kind of scrambling and trying to figure out how to equalize and get to the market that we are actually required to be at.
65% 2 years. 30 and 35, so 65% increase.
Yes.
In some years, it's zero.
Yeah, some years they haven't done it at all,
Yeah.
and
It's like a catch-up.
the problem with this really becomes is with many, many years of them not doing it, and we're actually trending these to market because we do have sales, then we get to a year where they really make these jumps and we actually don't have the sales to trend them back down. And all small counties run into the exact same issue. Big counties, they have the sales.
But you have the ability to challenge this. According to DLGF, you have the ability to challenge this.
I don't
Um,
know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not understanding.
So the information you sent through Gail to all of us yesterday says the assessor has the ability to say, hey, wait a second. You're comparing us to Marion County, and we're not Marion County. I mean,
We would have to make our own cost tables, and we do not have the manpower, the finances, or the resources to
but you
make our.
can challenge it with the state to say, listen, as you just admitted, we don't have sales that Marion County has.
You're absolutely
just-
correct.
Just talking with the DLGF, because, you gave us, everybody that came to your office, 2 little pieces of paper. One was for the governor's office, one was for the commissioner of the DLGF.
Mhm.
I called both. Governor's office, what do you think he says? Called the commissioner of the DLGF. What do you think the commissioner of DLGF, which you didn't give us his phone number, you gave us his email. So I had to look up his phone number. What do you think they say? Talk to your assessor, she's supposed to know all of this information.
Mhm.
So you
The
get
problem-
the runaround.
But the problem comes down to is for us to challenge it, we actually have to show the market data as to why we
Okay, so
disagree with it.
I'll give you one piece of market data that I asked them, same question. A piece of land, 1 acre of land in Marion County, $42,124. State document. 1 acre of land in Switzerland County, $9,024.
Are we talking about,
Assessments or sale price?
That's sale price.
Wow.
Now, according to DLGF, guys, I'm just telling you what they're saying. This is, I understand where you guys are. But somebody needs to explain this to the population.
I agree,
don't think this is
absolutely.
the appropriate place for it, because council has nothing to do with it. God knows, I can't be the only one that heard from people around the county.
But
And I
you're
kept
the
saying
one
to
that
them,
asked us to come, right?
no, I didn't ask you to come.
Who asked us to come?
He asked you to come, she asked you to come in their emails.
I mean.
and I agree
I
with
agree,
you.
but I'm saying
I
on
asked
your
because
site,
You guys wanted.
you guys should have an open forum with the public, especially you, because we hired, the county through her hires you to explain this to people.
Well, we
And I'm
have
fine
been.
with it.
Everybody
That
that's
would be
come
fine
in
with
and
me.
called, they've been.
And I'm not feeling it, but, okay,
Well,
if people
well, the
don't,
people that are calling you about reassessment and assessment stuff, just give them my number and have them call me, then I can
the
explain to
people
them.
that are calling me said they got the same thing I got when I came to your office.
No,
that's-
everybody, I've been going over the cards with everyone and I've been explaining.
You
and
didn't go over
showing-
my card with me.
You didn't ask me to.
No, I asked your employee.
I
You
was.
told me
I was
that when I
probably-
asked her for it, I asked her, give me the formula, and she said, well, it's on the paper that we sent you. Then you guys said, no, it's not on paper, and you
Why don't
handed
you
me
come
all
in
this
tomorrow,
information.
come in tomorrow and I will
Okay.
go over your paper.
Okay, so I'm just saying, guys,
One
we
thing
should
to
probably
note,
have a community event for this. Not,
I wouldn't
this
disagree with
isn't,
that.
this isn't our bailiwick here.
Stacy, the whole Marion County comparison thing is on a ratio, correct?
Mhm.
So
That's a base rate, but they,
we are not, Switchland County
we're
is
not
not.
equal.
No.
No,
So
I don't-
I want to make this clear
Yeah.
to the public watching this, because I've heard this a lot, and I took the time, and others of us here have too, to call you and talk to you,
Mhm.
email you. Matt had a lot of questions.
I
He
answered.
Emailed that you answered. And I think all of us here pretty well know, but people watching out there might. And I think that's one of the big questions, and I want to, clear that
Yeah,
up.
no.
We are not directly compared to Marion
No.
County. It's a multiplier basis for every county.
No. And what you need to look at on the,
That's like the equals 100 Marion County, and then we're
Yeah.
probably
and then they go down or up
30
depending on
or
what you're,
something.
yeah.
I'm sure their assessment on 1 acre in Marion County is higher than an assessment of 1 acre down here.
Probably, and I'm sure their
Yes.
sale price is
Depending
a
what's
lot
on.
more.
But what it really comes down to where the issue is that the cost tables are the same for every county when they implement those. The way it's supposed to be adjusted is based on the sales within your jurisdictions. Each neighborhood, each township, each tax district. But when you don't have the sales, that becomes very difficult to do that.
And I'm not again, this isn't on you. I'm reading off the letter to the DLGF that everybody's trying. Can anybody tell me what the VEM, what's the formula for the VEM? What's the formula for the LCM? Do you know?
I do not.
But you got Candace, that's what people are upset with. This is the letter that we all received from you
Who is,
guys.
I don't
I
get
mean,
what you're
people
saying.
wanna know what the
Everybody's
hell
so
does this
upset.
mean?
How they come up with an LCM, they have not divulged that to anyone, and they will not, as far as I
And I
can tell.
called and asked about the cost tables, and they told me that it didn't go up like a flat rate, like your
They
house.
say,
went
I
up,
believe,
your barn
because the
went
first
up.
thing they say when you talk to them and ask them to explain, talk to your assessor.
So I'm
And
just
I get it.
saying, so I'm saying.
This is the
average.
letter they gave you to
Yeah.
say, please give this to your public. Well, it doesn't help.
Well, you know, for me, I just have people, Posey Township is a poor township in the county. And granted, I'm at large, but I live in Posey. So a lot of people have asked, well, last year it was this year it's this. And some of them have went up $80,000, $100,000. So I guess my question is, if it went up 30% last year and 35% this year, why didn't they have that jump last year of $80,000 to $100,000 when all of a sudden this year it was? That
Because it
doesn't make
depends on
sense.
tax rates, deductions, just because your assessment goes up, like that
And
doesn't
when
mean
we
your
say-
taxes are gonna go way up.
When we say it went up 30%, it wasn't 30% on all types of properties.
Yeah.
That was the average that it went up. Last year, the farms weren't really hit that hard. This year, they really,
And we
Yeah,
had
that's-
trending last year,
Yes.
we had trending, so I
Oh,
think we
but
were
with
able to trend
trending-
down a little bit last year.
and that's another thing that we run into here in Switzerland
Because
County.
I think from
Trending,
my end, there's a lot of farms. Posey is a
Yes.
lot of farms. So a lot of people got hit with something that was kind of astronomical, to be honest.
and this is
It's
one
like,
of the
what hell?
counties,
Mhm.
actually one of the exceptions in the state where there's almost an equal number of ag properties as there are res. They're pretty close to each other. Most counties aren't that way.
Yeah.
And we cannot trend ag properties. That is actually,
Okay.
by law, we cannot trend them. So it cannot be included in a ratio study. You cannot apply trending factors to them because the state sets the rate on the ag land.
Got it.
So that automatically eliminates them from all trending or sales.
Even though ag land here isn't selling for the same amount as ag land.
Ag land period is
Upstate.
cheap here,
Yeah.
because the state sets the price on it, and then you get like a soil factor taken off, and you
Right.
get another
Right.
factor taken off if it's non-tillable woods.
Got it.
So ag land is super cheap.
So when they hit the farm buildings this year, because that's really all the cost tables deal with, it's not land, it's
So
farm
when will
buildings
people
only.
know what their taxes are going to change?
And see,
December?
this is where the
When did
actual
you get the tax rate?
calculation,
We usually don't have the tax rate, we've got
Tax
it
rate.
usually this February.
Because I think that's what's freaking a lot of people out is, well,
and that,
my assessment went up $100,000.
Right.
What's
When your
that gonna do for
assessments
that?
go up,
Right,
most
right.
likely your rates are gonna go down.
yes, and that's the way the system's
And
supposed to work.
I'm there with
I mean,
them.
I'm with,
I'm right there with you guys.
If
I
the
don't
system
know
works the way it's
too, but
supposed
I'm
to, as the assessments go up, as long as budgets don't go up astronomically, the tax rate should
Rates.
fall.
Yeah.
Because you take your assessment base times the tax rate, it should equal your budget.
And I think just hearing that. I think will make
Everybody's
people feel better.
assessment, everyone in this county's assessment could double. And if the levy doesn't change, no one's taxes is gonna change.
Right, as long as
I
the
wouldn't say
budget's.
that, don't. You
No,
can say
that's
that
how
as
it
you
works.
saying it personally,
That's how
but
it
please don't
that's
say
how
that
it
as
works.
far as council, because you just made a statement that it won't change.
Well,
I'm not-
and-
I'm not saying it won't change,
Well,
I'm
you
saying
did.
if the levy does not change.
Right.
the-
He's saying
what
if
I'm
it works
is the
correctly-
assessment Does not
No.
directly correlate to tax rate.
Yes.
And we
The
also
dollar
need
we
to keep
pay.
in mind that like, it's those, Form 11s that I sent out, it's like market value, like, so like, would you sell your place for that? Well, for the most part, everybody is way under assessed. So
Right.
the people that are coming in because there's one at 50 or 100, they're either close to market or they're below. Because I see on Facebook where people were saying stuff, and I looked theirs up, and
Right.
most of those people, they paid way more than I have it assessed for.
Right.
So there's really, they're complaining about that, but they pay
And
more
that's,
for
and that's
it.
why I
So
asked,
here's-
that's why I
Thanks
asked
to
to
your
come
comment.
in.
Anything.
Yeah,
So it
And I
could
get
be
that,
on
because
record
we're all living on
to
a tight
explain
budget.
it, because
me too,
for
I've
me,
got a
at the
raise for
end of
2
the
years.
Right, I understand.
I get those questions, when people call,
Absolutely.
well, my assessment went up
And-
$100,000, does that mean my taxes are gonna go up $1,000? I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah,
Now
I
do.
think you ended up with a,
Now I know.
not your, again, I'm not pointing to say you, I think the state delivered you a cookie cutter,
Oh, yeah.
and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people.
No, and it does not fit all jurisdictions. There's no way that it could. But that's where the trending comes into play, to where we could actually trend those as the way that we feel our market is here. but without the sales, that really kind of sort of stifles
Why do they
that
tie up to
process.
sales though? I mean, if you've got people that are happy.
A few years ago, there was a,
You know,
there was a lawsuit, and a judge decided and ordered that, interpreted the law to say all property tax assessments must be at market.
Yeah.
So that was
So
actually
like
case
where
law,
we're-
so.
Under assessed, people are paying more. They divide those out and get a ratio, and then you put those out there, and then you take an average of each ratio for each neighborhood in
Yeah.
each township, and that's applied.
I
So
got
if
it.
sales have been crazy high, your assessment's gonna go up. If it's
Yeah.
been low, that's gonna go down.
And the way mass appraisal does work, and it's sort of just the nature of the beast, is half the properties in any jurisdiction should be overassessed and half under, because we have to assess to the median. Now, what we do in this county is we actually assess slightly less than that. And this is the IAAO, the DLGF, everybody requires this exact same process. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what they require. So that if we assess to the median, and the median is supposed to be up to 1.0, meaning that whatever your median is where the actual market actually is. We try to assess to 0.95, which is 5% below that one even median. So they actually should be slightly below that, which keeps the upper ones from being too far overassessed and keeps the lower ones pretty close to where they should be.
Because I've had a lot of people, say, well, why would I want to clean up my property? Why would I want my yard to look nice and my plants and my fence and,
Well,
whatever, because if I make my property look nicer, then I'm gonna have to pay a whole bunch more for taxes.
But now 90
I don't think it works.
90% of that does not
But
actually
see,
apply,
that's
and
what
most
the
people don't
public-
understand that.
That's right, there it is. That's the point right there.
Most
That's what
people
you're-
don't understand that what we assess is the structures. If the house looks like it should for the year it was built, it's an average condition. If it is not way overbuilt, then it's probably a C grade, and that's going to put it right in the middle, exactly where it should be. And most houses would fall in that category. If they went way out and, they built a 10,000 square foot house and, had every fixture in the world put on it, that's going to be higher. However, cleaning up your property and making it look nice will not change that assessment.
And I do think that form is a little deceiving because
Yeah.
it says improvements.
Right.
So people think that means that they've done an improvement, but it just means it's an improvement to
Well,
make
because
it.
the area I live in.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people in that area, they're like, well, I'm not cleaning anything up.
So it doesn't
because
mean that they've improved anything, it just means it's not vacant land.
And I can assure you that I am not going to go out to anybody's property at any time, or the person who works for me in this county is going to go out there and say, oh, they put in new landscaping. No,
Yeah.
that does not
Or
happen.
they mowed your yard.
And as independent contractors, we do not get one extra dime for the assessments going up or going down for that matter.
But
Our
people
job
think
is to ensure that it is as accurate as
They do.
possible.
I'm glad we got that cleared up.
My neighbor thinks because they painted their garage, that's why you're so.
Yeah,
What does
I had
anybody
one
else
back
have
at
any,
the cleaning
any other
tree.
questions?
I know,
yeah.
I did want to mention that everybody got a card from me. You guys are welcome to call me at any time. If you have a taxpayer that needs to talk to me, I have no issue with it. I'm probably not gonna be able to answer phones 24 hours a day, but I am happy to talk to people. I will explain any and everything I can. I'm happy to go back out and look at any property that somebody has an issue with, although they should go through Stacy on that and do the proper paperwork. But we will look at any property that needs to be looked at.
I put something on there about a month
Thank you,
ago.
guys.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, got a summary on the update from our Casino Lobbies G2 strategies. I just kind of want to put this on here and let the members of council that weren't able to attend and the public as well know that just kind of what they went over with us. We've got another point of contact at G2 Strategies going to be taken over. And the big things were they're trying to work on getting sports wagering taxed, and that our hold harmless is likely going to go away. That's not for certain, but it's kind of what she told us. And then
Can you explain the hold harmless?
Lance, I think you can probably explain that better. It's
Well-
just money we get.
The host communities or host cities or counties get from the state, from that pool of money, the revenue. they redistribute out to those counties that have casinos. I don't know if
It's part of.
Garrett has any more background than that, but that's,
So all the counties used to get like a gate tax, and the state did away with those. So as a compromise to host communities, they send money back, effectively holding harmless money that we used to get when the casinos had that separate taxing stream going specifically to us. The state, some folks at the state don't like that concept because they don't like money going to places where it's not a specific tax. It's just basically giving us money because we used to get money. And so that's the fight we have to have in Indianapolis.
Was that the head tax, the admissions tax?
Yeah.
You should still get it because they're coming to your casino.
Another big point she told us, and I really wanted to make sure everybody knew, that it's casino revenue is actually what it was or higher, despite, everything we get showing it going down when you factor in or account for the sports wagering, which isn't, we get nothing of. So,
Right.
There's kind of a lot of doom and gloom, I guess, as far as the survivability of the casino. And, really the revenues are up, but we just don't see any of that with the way the laws are now. So hopefully they can get that done, but time will tell.
What do you think on that, Garrett? I mean, do you think that sports betting and whatnot will be able to get some revenue from that?
I think it's a tough lift. If we were going to get it, we would have probably gotten it when sports wagering was legalized. We have a really good argument for all the taxes because our communities are these host communities and we're partners. While in Indiana, every sports betting entity has to be partnered with a land-based casino, the tax revenue is separate. And it's tough to make the argument to say that sports book has to go back to that host community. Because Switzerland County actually has one of the more profitable sports books. If I'm not mistaken, we have BetMGM. Is that
FanDuel.
is FanDuel this one? Well, our host has two different licenses. They have FanDuel and BetMGM, I think. So if we could get that, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to push for it. I pushed for it last year as well.
How'd that go?
It didn't go anywhere last year.
Yeah,
so.
they go. The other counties, let's just call it what it is. You got multiple counties that don't get a damn thing, and why would they give us anything? You were told that when you walked in up there, right?
Yeah, and we have a little bit difficult situation in our area just because we are a saturated market with casinos. I represent in my district 3 casinos, so.
I guess the part that bothers me about it is they're kind of getting it both sides because they're also claiming they're a distressed casino. And it's really, if you look at it, that's not really accurate. I mean, because they're making plenty of money on sports wagering, but they fall below the threshold on the other to claim as a distressed casino and get a cut in their taxes. So I don't like them having it both ways. That's my take.
I agree with you, and anything that we can do, I know Senator Maxwell as well, this is kind of our top priority. The thing about representing casinos is what people don't understand is that's kind of top priority for us is that's what we have in my district, that's what we have, casinos. That's what helps us survive, so.
Well, initially it was the counties had to vote to be able to have it here and everything else, and nowhere else in the state wanted them. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second. Yes, that.
That's what the money on.
Yeah.
Nobody else has anything further on that? I'd like to go ahead, nobody has an issue with it, do the park board reappropriation. Hopefully everybody saw the email.
They're just reappropriating the money from one fund to another.
Not on the agenda because it went to the spam folder,
From the account.
but they sold a sprayer for $150 and it went into the general fund. They wanted put in their equipment fund 4321.
I'll make a motion to move it to the correct fund.
I'll second.
Motion by Kim, second by Patty, all in favor. Unanimous. Next up, we've got the wheel tax. I've been informed that the suspension of the gas tax by the governor is already gonna cost us $200,000 next year. You might have more information on that, Dusty.
Yeah, so there's no exact number on it yet. Some people saying 50%, 52%. We think he might even extend it for a fourth month. So we're looking at anywhere from 238,000 to maybe 300 and some thousand within that 3 to 4 month window that we're going to be upside down on. The entire state funding is going to be between 100 and 140 million that they're looking at losing throughout the whole state from the gas tax.
And that's
of
from
course
gas stations selling gas within your county.
Yeah. And of course, that trickles down to us.
Yeah.
So,
It looks like our loss to the county is
Right.
like at least $250,000.
and that's another thing. If we would have had wheel tax in place already, it would help subsidize the hit like this. And I don't know if we touched base on it last time, but while I'm here, I got a map. This is from our asset management plan. The easiest way to show it's by the map.
Dusty, while you pass that, have we received the first check or have we not received anything yet since the cut went in
Should come next week.
next week?
Yeah. So if you look on the right, you'll see the colors highlighted for your Paisley ratings. 1 is basically failed roads, and then 10 is your best roads. So last time we spoke of, I think, 48 miles we had in 2s and 3s. So everything you see on this map that's highlighted in the red and the orange will be your 2s and 3s. And then our next worst roads will be the 4s, which is kind of a amber yellowish color.
Yeah.
So basically the 2s and 3s you see was the first $9 million we was talking about that needs to be repaired. And then the 4 rating in the light orange or amber is going to be your next $9 million that is going to fail while we're working on the 2s and 3s.
Which kind of stinks because you got, sixes and 7s right now are being used continuously on the east end of the county because of those road closures.
Yep. And something else that you got to watch too, this was our last updated asset management. We do an update every 2 years. So our new update will be coming this year. So this is in 24. So some of these roads may have failed a little bit from 24 till now. Like if you look in the center of the map towards the top, you'll see Coleman Road. I just checked it tonight on my new asset management. We run, on our new asset management, we run these roads with a phone. It takes snapshots every 15 feet and then it's rated by AI and then it gets sent back to us and put on the map. So Coleman on here is showing as a 6. The new asset management that we've just run last month, it's showing it as a 3. So it's already went from a 6 to a 3 from 24 till now. And we got several other roads. Some of them's actually come back a little bit better on the new Paisley versus the old. So they're kind of a mix and match.
I know what that one black squiggly is on the top right. That's north.
Yeah,
North Road.
yeah.
Dusty, do you guys have,
Drive too dangerous.
can you put a percentage to each 1 through 10?
We do have that. I don't have it here tonight.
Can you send that to us?
Yeah, we can.
I mean, I'd like to know what percentages of, a passer equals 10
Yeah,
in the county.
yeah. Yeah, we do have all that information on our asset management. And as far as our revenue, if you look back the past 4 years, our revenue's only increased 18% from gas taxes. And if you look at what we've spent in the past 4 years, our auto repairs has went up 17%. Our equipment repair parts has went up 20%. Blacktop has went up 74%. Gas and oil, we've increased almost 52%. So we're already in a felon budget, and that 18% doesn't cover, anything new.
Your blacktop is up 70%.
Yeah, back 4 years ago, we had CCMG, we paid $105,000 a mile, and now we're looking at, so it's hard to put a dollar amount on it, but if we bid bigger jobs, we're gonna get a better bid price, so you're gonna be looking at anywhere from probably 160 to 180 a mile. So in 4 years, we went from 105,000 a mile to possibly 160, 180,000. And I think our last blacktop we did last year was, what, 150, maybe 153,000 a mile. But we had quite a few roads we done, which helped get that bid price per mile down.
Done any of this year yet?
We won't be doing any this year.
So blacktop.
No, last year's CCNG, we had to put in for that bridge replacement on Allensville Road, so that's where that money's going to. Now, I do want to do some blacktopping of our own, we'll patch here and there, but now that we're taking this cut, I don't know it's a good idea. And I'm kind of concerned too, we're right in the middle of chip and seal. Do I need to quit and save that money so we can just keep routine maintenance going, or?
Prioritize.
Yeah, what do we do?
Yeah, 156.
I mean, was there anything submitted to the commissioners for 2026 for paving for this first phase?
No, not for 26, no. And typically what we do, the only way we can get enough money to pave is to try to hit CCMG. So like this year, I have 450,000 in my budget for blacktop. So I would save that money and take the 450 next year and apply with our CCMG grant, to get as big as bid as we can get going to save, mileage or money for mileage. But I don't even know about doing my own blacktop this year because we're going to lose $300,000. Where do we draw the line at so we don't go broke?
Wheel tax or no wheel tax, I feel like at some point, we're gonna get to where
Yeah.
all these roads are 2s and 3s, and
Exactly.
I don't know,
And here's our biggest problem. So 2s and 3s, it's not catastrophic failure, but we're right there close. If we can't fix them in, a couple of years, they're gonna be a 1, which is catastrophic failure. The only way to fix that is kind of like they did 129. We got to grind it all back up,
Yeah.
redo all the base, and then put it all back
That's what
down.
you said last time, you
Yeah,
gotta
we
go back
can't.
to base 0.
Yeah, we can't afford to do that.
So Dusty, if we don't, I think you answered my question. I want to make sure I heard you. By reducing the amount that we're talking about with, or is being suggested for the wheel tax, we're not benefiting us at all because our roads are going to get worse.
Yeah.
So
And
if whatever we cut, we don't ask for the max, we're just causing ourselves to have worse roads.
Yeah. And if you look at 180,000 a mile, or let's take the low end, let's say 160. And even if we put in the max, that's 600 some $1,000. So you're doing, less than 4 miles out of that money. And then if you add my 450 to it, we got a little over $1 million, $1,050,000.
And are your calculations with the reduction of the gas tax money coming in?
No, that's just looking in the future with wheel tax. This year, I don't know what we're gonna do, to be honest with you. Because the wheel tax is not gonna help us with that gas tax cut this year.
Yeah, for 26.
Yep.
But if we would have had it in place, we could have relied on that. Maybe we wouldn't have done blacktop that year, but it would have fulfilled the budget for a shortfall.
Cost
like
difference, chip and seal versus blacktop.
Chip and seal, you're probably 15 to 18,000 a mile, just depending on how wide that road is. And this year, we're doing 30 miles. We've already done almost 15 of that. But now I need to get with the commissioners and do we keep moving? And that's the hard line to draw, because if we get our Paisley rating you see here up to a 6 or higher, we could split our MVH fund. Instead of 50-50, we can do 60-40, which will help us more on mowing roadsides, snow removal, salt, all that. But if I skip chip and seal the rest of it this year, then I can't get that Paisley up to 6. And I don't know that we'll make it this year, but this is our best year to get there. We're getting close. So I really need to get that 30 miles done to have our best shot at hitting 6 this year. But money-wise now, I don't know if that's still valid.
Does that 60-40 fund split go away if it falls back to below 6?
Yes.
And like you said too, without the wheel tax, then you may or may not get the community crossings again.
Right. That's still a gray area.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've talked to, contractors, engineers we use, they try to keep up to date as well on all that stuff. And they're kind of leaning the same way we are. Eventually, if you don't have it, then you won't be eligible. But
It's kind
nobody's,
of like the state kind of forcing you to kind
Yeah.
of do it.
and that's the biggest thing I've heard out of all of this. The state's forcing us to help cover our own costs.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yep.
And I said at last meeting, the need is clearly there.
Yeah.
The Excel sheet you brought us last meeting
Yeah, I mean,
got it spelled out really well. I'm having trouble getting my mind around.
Unfortunately, not a question of.
The one thing I forgot to tell you when we was talking about the 2 degree spell and catastrophic, I mean, if you don't have the money to fix it here shortly, then we gotta turn it back into gravels, because once they honeycomb and fall apart, there's no fixing them.
yeah. And you can't just, when they're honeycombed, you can't just leave it like that and then add gravel to it, right?
No, you got.
You still have to take it off.
Yeah, because the gravel won't set on that.
Right.
Surface. So,
Right, it'll just wash off.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. Those blacktop roads, if they go catastrophic, and they honeycomb, they can't just add gravel to them to turn them back to gravel roads. You gotta have the expense to strip it off, to go back to gravel. A lot of people want to go back to gravel roads, I'm sure.
I don't really.
I mean,
We've
the
got,
wheel tax isn't gonna stop. Isn't gonna stop this. It'll slow it down. You know, we've got quite a bit of money. I just don't understand why we're not doing as much, just a little bit, much, whatever we can each year. I don't, I'm having trouble still taxing the max when we're sitting on a lot of money.
I agree with that.
But you don't have any control over that, guys. That's the problem. I
That's
mean, we tried to do
fine.
this with the budget, and the
Rainy
finance
day?
committee smacked us in the head
Day.
and told us, get back, do your own job. If you don't ask for the match, you're gonna have a hell of a time going to the finance committee and getting them to give you any money.
'Cause we have
They've already
to do
told
that.
us that.
That'd be on them then.
Well, it is, but you gotta ask. I mean, ask them. How many counties are you seeing out there that didn't ask for the max?
There's no good number on it. I'd say, what have we found?
Finance committee is commissioners and
Treasurer.
treasurers.
Now,
they get to say on how the money's invested. We can spend it.
If you don't ask for it and you can't afford to do it, you're gonna cause that map to get uglier.
to
That's
your
what's gonna
answer,
happen.
I think there's like 30-some counties out of 50 that put in the max, but what has changed since some of them counties have put it in, they have changed the max higher than when they set it, so it's hard to get a true number on how many's actually got it. max nowadays.
If we knew we could spend X amount of dollars towards it.
I think somewhere in the middle of the road covers us for the time being.
But I just don't see we'll ever be able to increase it once we do it.
This council right here can increase it every year.
You're right, we can vote it, but the state has already told us that's gonna be, right? Did the state not say,
Well,
it's gonna be difficult?
yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
Garrett, you know anything on it?
As long as you impose any wheel tax, that's sufficient for the consistent match.
But is it hard to go
Well,
back
they're
and get
talking
more?
about going back and adjusting it lower.
You could follow, it's just a matter of having the hearings every year. You could do it,
We talked about
but
doing it.
Yeah, your fight's gonna
Doing
come
a
in the
percentage
hearings.
increase per year based on.
What's that?
Your fight's gonna come in the hearings with the
Yeah.
hope of trying to change.
Depends on where-
Every time you gotta have your,
yeah, you just have to follow
I'm
the
not
process each
sure
time.
what the difference between us going through it this time and next year.
Well,
or
if
5 years
you
from
would
now.
have to have what, 2 public hearings?
every year.
So we have to do 2
That's what you
public
got.
hearings.
If you do it every year, you don't necessarily have to change it.
But if we need more funds, if it's not covering it, we'll have to do 2 hearings the same way every year.
You're gonna, so you
Here,
go
the
with,
rate
you go
doesn't-
with the amount that you want this year.
If the rate doesn't change, you still have to have hearings.
No, if the rate change, if the rate is consistent.
Yeah, if it
then you
stays the
just let it
same, you don't.
And then, and then there'd be a
If we say
time
we go
frame. You wanna
half
do it,
now,
if you wanted to raise it
bump
again,
it.
you'd wanna do it before,
September 1st?
September 1st every year.
Madison, Jefferson County went with the basic this year,
Let them,
the minimum, $7.50. $7.50 for their excise and $5 for their wheel tax. That's what Jefferson County, Madison, Indiana did.
They probably got more than Jefferson.
They do.
About 30,000.
Yeah.
If you went in the middle of the road, it's 35 and 50, that would be an estimated $431,000.
Cover a lot.
That would be more than the estimated loss of the gas tax, which, that's, can't imagine gonna be a sustained loss. Hopefully,
Yeah, but I mean.
hopefully war with
it's not
Iran's
gonna help
over with,
with
and we can,
It's not gonna help anything with the gas tax for 2026 though.
No,
We're gonna be in the negative this year regardless. Unless we pull money out of other accounts.
If I remember right, I think Jefferson County tried to up theirs, but they had too big a fight with the public. After talking about it.
Cause they put theirs in last year, right?
They
2 years
had it for a
ago.
little while.
Really?
Yeah, I don't wanna say how long.
You get the Eugene County still last year. Eugene County.
In middle of the roads, what, Scott?
well, it's on the high, slightly on the higher end with the $35 excise and the $50 wheel tax. Estimated revenue of $431,100.
35 and 50 versus 50 and 80.
Yes, 50 and 80 would be estimated at $635,400. Those are estimated revenues. I lean more towards the max rate, but it's hard to justify the max rate when you have money, when we have money in it. I don't want to see this county waste it or just spend all of our savings down to nothing. That's not wise either. But personally, as a taxpayer, it's,
So what are you
It's a little-
recommending
it's a
the
bit-
finance committee gives us? What's your recommendation? Because
the finance committee decides on how they invest those funds. We have control of the funds.
you have to go and ask for the funds if you want to use the finance committee's funds.
No, so the finance committee, because I did a little bit of research the last time this this issue came up, the finance committee is able to just show how it's invested, make sure it's being invested properly, and kind of is the oversight there. But county council is still the allocating body, so you guys have control over those.
So you're saying that the budget that we had last time with the finance committee, they did it wrong?
Yeah, you guys could have used the money last time.
What?
I think it's important not to take that to the too far of an extreme and, like I said, spend all of that money.
Right.
But as a taxpayer, I don't want to pay more taxes than is reasonable when the government has money. So I think there's some balance there, and I think a middle of the road on this tax
Well, then
is
really,
more
for us,
balanced.
as a taxpayer in this county, what of my taxes are really going for road use and everything? What percentage of them are going towards that now anyway? None really. I mean, very little.
Not property or income, it's
Yeah.
from the state.
Right. But a wheel tax would be able to go straight towards it. So anybody with
That's all that would
vehicles,
be used for.
but that's what I'm saying. So anybody with a vehicle, trailer, or whatever else, that tax is mainly going specifically to upkeep the roads in the county you're driving in.
So you take a person's got 3, 4 vehicles, that's a pretty big hit.
Right.
It is a big hit.
Trailers, farmers,
Yeah,
tractors,
Buggies?
tractors don't
I
count.
agree with you on that.
Tractors wouldn't count. It'd be vehicles, trailers.
It's anything with anything you register. Except, like, there's certain exemptions, like religious organizations and a few others, I can't tell you off the top of my head.
And we didn't figure out on the buggies because they're not registered, right?
If they're not registered to the state, then this wheel tax doesn't apply. If they are, so the tractors that are registered to the state, trailers, they fall under the wheel tax, which is a higher amount.
But the commissioners would have the right to go and create an ordinance to charge the buggies,
Yeah, which don't we have
We already
one?
have one.
We just,
but I don't think we enforce it.
It needs to be enforced.
and I know there's discussion about
They're
our
tearing
code
up the
enforcement
road, just
officer.
I mean, here's my opinion. You guys got to carry this next year. So what do you want to do? Because I'll vote the way you want to go. You own it. Doesn't matter what the other 4 of us want, because you're only here until December. So this whole
I don't
thing
know-
starts
I don't
next
know
year.
I don't know what the guaranteed right thing to do is, but I told you what my best belief is, and that's
Go in the middle.
what everybody else share their 2
They
cents.
don't wanna, you know, like you guys are sitting on a lot of savings and now you wanna tax us even more.
Exactly.
That's what they've been saying.
And right now, you know, as someone in the public, you know, a lot of people in the public, we are working with our savings right now to make ends meet because it is a tough time.
Yeah.
So if our,
The other-
if our taxpayers are doing that, then, you know,
I think the
I don't
other.
see the point.
other
I
important-
can't, in my conscience, tax them to the max at this point.
How much funds did you get from county crossings this year? Or let's just say last year.
Community crossing?
That bridge is what, 760,000, so 25% of that. And we got fortunate this year, we got everything we asked for. There's
Right.
a lot of counties, because now that he's cut the community crossings from 300 million to 100,
Right.
there were some counties that didn't get selected.
And we got selected because we had it in the past.
Yeah. Well, no, because they try to pick the projects that's gonna make the best impact, and the bridge is, you can't.
Okay. That's where my concern is if we don't have a wheel tax.
Get this around all damn day.
I'm waiting on somebody to make.
My concern if we don't do a wheel tax is if the state says you can't participate in community
If we're
crossings,
gonna do it, we'll.
that's a ton of money. So we have to do a wheel tax, it's just, what are we gonna do?
But you only have until what, September 1st? So,
Yeah,
I mean, we got 2 public meetings, so let's get something on the table so you can get it, because we should have done this last year, we blew that. So,
I'll make a motion for the wheel tax, for the excise tax at $35, wheel tax at $50.
Excise.
Excise is 35 and the wheel tax is 50.
Yeah, you have to do it together.
Is that minimum?
That's middle of the road, just above the
Middle of the road.
to move forward with that process. and have
Let
Gary-
your, if the public has an issue with it, you got 2 public meetings, let them come in here and beat the hell out of us. So be it, at least we're getting something out there.
Exactly, I agree. We gotta get something out there and get something going.
All right, I made a motion, do I have a second?
Scott, I'll second. Oh, sorry, Kim.
That's all right. Got it again. Okay.
I'll say Patty did, I'm not sure.
We're gonna fight over it, man.
All in favor of the excise tax at $35, the wheel tax at $50? Unanimous. And just to say to the public, this tax is not instituted as of this vote. There will be 2 public hearings. This is a vote to move forward in the process.
Yeah, we're not adopting the real tax. This is just a vote to move forward in the process
To have public.
to have our public meetings.
So when are those being announced now? What's the dates?
I'm assuming, do you want to do it before the council?
We'll do it after the next council meeting.
You can do it during,
You
before,
can do it right at the beginning of it.
Right.
I think you can do it during.
and I'll.
Well,
You can do it.
technically,
Before.
You can do it at the beginning as long as you open it up as a special and then close it and then start your regular meeting.
Yeah, just during the regular time.
So that would be the July.
Starting at 5.
Next council meeting. I may not be here in July.
And the ordinance itself will be available for review in the auditor's office, so you can see. I'm making edits right now to the,
Okay.
with the new figures that we just voted on.
oh, I'm not sure we really need a motion, but I'll make a motion to have the first public hearing held directly after the next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Second.
After or before?
After.
We won't know how long the council meeting's gonna go. We just go right into it.
So the first meeting isn't gonna happen until the next month?
July 8th.
Then you gotta wait, then you gotta do another one. How long do you have in between the 2 of them?
The way that I'm looking, there's really no set procedures set in place for having to have 2 specific separate meetings. So the way that most counties have been doing this is effectively the first reading of the ordinance that I put together. So this being the first reading, which I just made the edits, and we have a copy from the last meeting that I prepared with the maximum bill rate. When you vote to impose it, that's basically this first reading. You can impose it after the second reading, which is going to be the next meeting. So that's how most counties have been doing it. You've been voting on it here, and then you've been voting to impose it here, and then you vote on it in the second meeting. So that's how most counties have been doing this. But there's no specific statutory procedure for two separate meetings in the statute.
I thought there had.
We're
two
adopting.
Public meetings, where the public could come.
And I thought when we talked,
Yeah, that's.
This was in the email I sent to you guys before the last meeting, how most counties are just mirroring the way that they do municipal rates. You can do 2 public meetings, but statutorily, you don't have to.
so we could do a meeting before next council meeting, and then if that goes okay, we could adopt it.
Yeah.
After next council.
We need to go first on that, so we can advertise a set time.
We do have to advertise, so that's where this.
I know, you know what I mean, like, if we did it at the end of our council meeting, we may not know exactly what time that is. So I
You
didn't
can
know if
just say
we,
upon adjournment at,
you can advertise that way?
Yeah.
Okay,
But if we, see, the reason I made that motion is I thought we had to have another one after that one. So we might want to do it before
Where then we could vote.
we can vote next meeting. But then you would have to set the meeting at like 4:30.
Just have it following.
Which people won't be home from work or anything yet, but people haven't made it yet. If we figured tonight, maybe have it at like 6 o'clock.
What if we did just do it after our next council meeting, which would be, 6
Yeah, and then
o'clock?
we would vote in August, because it has to be done by September 1st, right?
you could follow that procedure if you would like.
you can do 6 o'clock if we're not done yet, we just,
If you want to set a set time so that people know, you can say 6 o'clock and then just wait till 6 to actually open that, or you can do 5 o'clock and do it during this regular time.
I like the later idea, I mean, people get a chance to get.
If Gary, do we have to have a decision by September first, or does it have to be into the state, approved by the state by September first?
September, well, these guys have to send it, but my understanding is the approval process goes pretty quickly once you send it up to the state, because they're just kind of formally accepting it,
Yeah,
proposing it.
we thought we agreed that it has to be approved by.
Yeah, that's when they're approving. So we need to take this, send it up there, and then they'll do the back end opposing it, because we send it up there, but then they're the ones that are actually collecting it and sending it back to us through the registration process.
So
We
what
do
time
something
is it
wrong,
now?
if this is, I mean, if there's
You
one
guys-
I think
issue,
it's 6
one
o'clock,
thing wrong,
next council.
we could advertise it for September first after the.
Well, let's get a motion.
Yeah, if we don't have it done by September first,
Whatever you think afterwards.
I mean, most of our meetings don't last.
but most towns
I would say
follow
very
this
close.
procedure to
I
pass it.
say we say 6 o'clock, and that way anybody that wants to be here, they know.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And then if we're
I
fast,
wanna
we late,
amend
we're
that
fast, we
motion,
late.
that the first public, I guess the only public hearing will be at 6 o'clock, same day as our next council meeting.
16.
July 8th.
July.
I'll second that.
Motion by me, second by Lance, all in favor. All right, last thing we've got, our board reports. I have not had a meeting, don't have anything.
We had a recycling board meeting on May 20th at the Jefferson Proving Grounds at the location, and everybody was there from all the counties in participation. They gave us a tour of the facilities and talked about different upgrades and things that they want to do. So they're doing some great work there.
I have an EMA board on the 24th meeting, so.
Before we adjourn, can you send that back for everybody to sign?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Kim, second by Patty. All in favor?
You still have to sign those.
Already did.
Okay, good.
And then you want to appreciate, you want some of those?
There you go.
Thank you very much.
And you don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna procrastinate, so I wanna go back out on the lot and tag it.
Damn, I'm basketball. Actually, I was shopping.